Hi, Bob here, and in this video we're going to talk about your canvas size and how do you get enough detail into your digital drawing to make sure when you print it you're going to print out something that isn't just a big pixely mess. Starting with an A5 page, so in Rebelle 5 I've put this A5 page together, which is 148mm by 210mm, and I click OK. So now it's appeared. What I had hoped was that in Rebelle Tilt Navigator, I had hoped that if I went to 100% that would equal A5, but if I show you the size of this compared to an A5 book which I've got sitting here, this is a book called Missile Commander by Tony Temple for anybody who's into retro gaming. But as you can see, the book isn't the same size as the page, so 100% it's not a true replication of the size in real life. So how do we get it to the point where we can estimate? And really you're going to have to do it by your eye. So when it's something like it's small, then that's fine. We can use the zoom out feature to get something similar. I'm looking about 81% as the size of my A5. So if I draw the detail to that level, then it will look like this when I print it out. But what happens with bigger items like posters? Now, posters is what I'm interested in, and the standard US poster is about 27 inches across by 40 inches long, or 686mm by just over a metre, 1016mm. And so I can't display that on my screen. So how do I then have to get the detail that I need to match that size? So the way I do it is I get my measuring tape and I measure across my screen to see how much of the viewable screen I can see, and I can see 365mm approximately. Okay, so this is a drawing that I was showing you in my previous video. I've done some additions to it, but let's say I wanted to print this in poster size. How am I going to know that the detail is going to be okay and it's not just going to be a big blurry mess? If I zoom in, print it off really large and end up with a big squiggly eye, something that doesn't look particularly nice when you've got it hanging on your wall. If we take the US size of 27 inches, and I have got a screen which shows about 14.5 inches. 14.5 and 14.5 is 29, which is close enough. So if I take my image and I do a new layer and I draw a line down in the middle of it, then if I zoom in to the point where the white line and the other edge is seen, then I can zoom in a wee bit more in Rebelle. So if I zoom in until I'm pretty much seeing half the image, if I mark the edge here, basically what you're trying to do is to ensure that when you're looking at your image up close on your screen, that as you scroll across, the size will be close to the size that you're going to print at. So in my case, this would be 14.5 inches. So overall, I've got a 29-inch canvas where the detail looks pretty decent to me. Now, what I need to make sure is that my dots per inch are okay. If you've got your dots per inch set to 300, you might get away with 150, and again, your computer might struggle with these larger images. This image is 300 dpi, so that when I do this at this scale, there's no jaggy lines. So if I zoom right in, you'll start to see the jaggy lines. Now, if I was printing out at this size, that is what I would see because my dots per inch wouldn't be of high enough resolution. Now, the size of this image now is massive because I'm at 900%, and for me to measure this could take some time. 13 to the middle, which means 26 overall. So if I was to print this off, the size of our overall image would be 377 inches across, is 31 feet or 10 meters across, which is massive. So you can see that if you zoomed in to that level and you printed off something that was 10 meters across, you would see pixelation up this close. We're obviously not printing anything that large. We're trying to go for a poster. Thankfully, I've got this big monitor here. Even if you're down at an iPad level, you still get a reasonable amount. That 3 iPads would probably equal a poster's width. As long as you're zoomed in 3 times, and you segment your drawing, you'll then know that you've got enough detail added to the level that you're looking for, that when you print that, the poster will look nice and detailed and it won't look all pixelated. So how does that help us when we're drawing? Because obviously we've got to draw looking far away, because we can't draw an eye just by drawing a tiny little bit of the eye because we're zoomed in that much. And really what we want to do is we want to do our sketch first, and as you can see in the time lapse, I've went in and done my sketch first. Now what I would suggest you do is you take a note of your percentage zoom. Now in Rebel it's up on the top right under Navigator. In Sketchbook it's actually up in the top left where you save your drawing. It changes as you zoom in and zoom out. So in Sketchbook, if you want to be quite precise, you can hold down the space bar and you can then grab the magnifier glass icon, and just that gives you a nice fine control of that zoom level. I would love a program to actually lock your zoom. I've looked and seen through the manual to see if there's a zoom lock. There's not, but most, even Photoshop doesn't have a zoom lock to the best of my knowledge. I remember looking for one. So canvas sizes that I look at is A1 for a poster size. That's kind of what I'm going to go for. That's about the size of my Stranger Things poster that I've got. And then if I'm going for a notebook, that would be about A5. That's that Missile Commander book that I showed you. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this has been of some use to you. If it has, please remember to hit a wee like, subscribe and a wee bell notification. Cheers, and wee Bob is out.